I am absolutely ready for some low stakes art drama. Low stakes in that what I'm going to talk about doesn't affect you or me. I definitely think we can take some lessons from what I'm about to talk about, but the way someone else prices their commissions, it won't have an effect on you or me. I'm sorry. And in general, I need some low stakes drama, because if you've been paying attention to the world at all in any capacity, wherever you are, things are occurring, and I need them to slow the fuck down so that I can breathe and not panic in a corner every other fucking minute while I'm trying to draw pretty pictures. So let's just get into this. I'm not entirely certain what corner of the internet got pissy about this in the first place, but for the first time in a long time, Jim Lee is taking commission requests and he will be delivering them at whatever convention he shows up at. Definitely San Diego Comic-Con. I'm not sure what other shows are happening. I haven't been on the circuit for a while. So anyway, that's not the controversial part. The controversy comes in the pricing of said commissions. So if you are I have the price sheet here. If you are looking for an 11 by 17 inch original piece from Jim Lee, President of DC, Jim Lee, Chief Creative Officer, Jim Lee, Publisher of DC Comics, Jim motherfucking Lee. Starting prices for an 11 by 17 piece of art is $20,000, which gets you a full figure character with limited background. Jim is going to be penciling and inking these himself. If you're looking for stuff that Jim Lee, that's not in Jim's usual wheelhouse, then that goes from $25,000 to $35,000. If you want a waist up figure on a 9 by 12 inch piece of paper, that's going to cost you from $9,000 to $15,000, depending on what you're looking for. If you want a small headshot, 3¼ inches by 7 inches, that's going to go for $1,000. And if you have a blank cover and you want a bust shot, that's $8,000 and $12,000 if it's a wraparound. Jim will supply the blank cover, or you can supply the blank cover. The figure that's gotten people a little pissed is the $20,000 one. And I have to say, good for fucking Jim. That is a man who knows what his time is worth, who knows what his skill is worth, and who knows that someone out there is not going to bat an eye and pay that to get an original piece from Jim motherfucking Lee. Those prices don't come out of thin air. Jim has probably done commissions in the past for a fraction of those prices. And some greedy flipper probably got it from him and put it on eBay and got that amount. Jim's just cutting out the middleman. You know, when you're doing a commission for somebody, as an artist, you feel like you're connecting with that person, the person who commissioned it. Maybe it's their favorite character, or maybe it's a pose that they've always wanted their favorite character in. Or maybe you're thinking that fan really likes the way you approach certain aspects of your character design. And to see that personalized work, that one-of-a-kind piece of work to get instantly flipped, that's a kick in the pants, right? That feels terrible. You thought you were making a connection with somebody, and that wasn't the case. You were helping someone else make bank off of you, and that sucks. Adam Hughes famously went through this. He used to charge pretty affordable rates for his commissions, and now those rates have gone up because people kept flipping his stuff, flipping his con sketches, and making bank off of it, and just, you know, ruining the entire experience. So starting at $20,000 means that some motherfucker out there got a commission from Jim, flipped it, and banked that money. Jim has to be one of the, if not the busiest man in comics. We don't see the day-to-day stuff that the president of a comic book company has to go through. And even us on the freelancing side, when we're drawing things, we don't know half of the shit. Like, we're only on one project. This motherfucker has to oversee everything that DC publishes. He probably has to interface with every animation company that's doing projects for DC, with DC properties. He probably has to interface with Hollywood to see what's going on with the movie side of things. Like, this man hardly has time to breathe. So for him to take time out of his day and spend however many hours it takes for Jim Lee to do the quality of work that he does for these quote unquote sketch commissions, it has to be worth his time. $20,000 seems like it's reasonable to me, you know? The other thing, like, It's also kind of aspirational. Like all of us should should aspire to make work that someone will be willing to pay that kind of money for, you know? Like you want to get to the point in your career when, like, if you want to go to a con, you can finance that convention trip by, you know, doing a commission. That would be dope as shit, you know? I don't think 20K is an unreasonable ask. And, you know, the people complaining about it, they weren't going to be buying that shit anyway. They weren't even going to buy $100 commission from Jim. They just want to complain about something, which I get. I love complaining. But if we're being real, I feel like more of us need to know what our value is. I think there are a few lessons that we can take from this. Number one, you and I probably need to raise our rates. It can be difficult to assess what your work is worth on the open marketplace if you don't have a well-known name. Like if I put a sketch up on eBay, nobody knows who I am. So like if it gets like $5, I would probably be lucky. But that's not necessarily what that piece of artwork is worth, if that makes sense. We all probably have a number in our head when we start out and we price our commissions that we feel is reasonable. But because we're artists, we're self-deprecating, and we already don't have a good sense of what our time is worth. So we need to probably have that number we think we should be starting and add maybe 25% on top of that. The other thing we need to do as artists is every year probably increase our rate by 10, 20%, because hopefully every year you are getting better, you are adding to your skill set, and your time is worth more. So every year, maybe evaluate where your prices are and maybe add 10% on them, or, you know, add them slowly. But we should be raising our rates. We should be raising our rates. We should be raising our rates. Just because we do commercial illustration of fun characters doesn't mean we should be doing con sketches for $5. Please don't do con sketches for $5. Your time is worth more than $5. It's going to take you an hour or two to draw something that you think is worth the $5. And if you're going to be spending that time anyway, raise it like 50. Put a zero behind that, but don't do $5 commission. This is also for me too, because I know the feeling when you're starting out is you want your work to be affordable because you want it to get into a lot of hands and you want people to see your stuff. So, you know, if you price it cheaply, more people will get it, but you're still going to be working the same amount. Like you're still going to be working yourself to the bone to try to get this $5 commission to look just right. So if you're going to put in that kind of time, price it accordingly. And you might do fewer con sketches, but that's okay. The few that you do take, you can spend your time with it and do something really, really special. And then you have that connection with that person, like I was talking about from the beginning. So we need to up our rates. And when I go back and edit this, I'm just going to put this section on repeat as a mantra. So I remember to raise my damn rates. The number 2 lesson I think we can take from this is to know what you're good at. Jim isn't offering up watercolor paintings or oil paintings or acrylic paintings or digital prints of stuff. He's offering pencils to inks. That's what he's known for. That's what he's good at. That's his wheelhouse. I think we should always be trying new techniques, different styles, exploring different mediums, working with, you know, different methods and all that kind of stuff and learning. But when it comes to commissions, and certainly if you're going to be pricing your commissions at a high rate, at a proper rate, that's not necessarily the time for experimentation. Someone is hiring you to do what you are known for. Now you got to figure out what you're known for. And that's maybe a lifelong pursuit, but at least Jim's figured it out. For some of us, figuring out what our wheelhouse is, you might need to ask other people what they think of when they think of your work. What kind of stuff, what kind of techniques they think of when they see your work. I know for me, I have no friggin' clue because I'm always doing different things with stuff, but know what your wheelhouse is. And if people are willing to pay for that, try not to deviate too much from that. Like if you do chibis and stuff like that and someone commissions you, don't try to do like some realistic figure drawing and that kind of thing. You're going to shortchange yourself. Basically, know thyself and appreciate yourself is what I'm trying to say. Those are the two lessons that I can take from Jim's pricing. It's like, price yourself appropriately, know what you're good at. Basically, love yourself. This is what I like. Low stakes on the drama front, but still stuff we can take away from it. It's not like, you know, the company whose tools you're using is using your work to train their AI. You know, that kind of stuff. This is just low stakes. Who cares what Jim is charging? You're not getting those clients. You're not getting that money. You're not paying Jim to do that. So like, why are people so upset? Why are people so upset about what other people are charging? If anything, we should be doing the same thing. We should be jealous that he's getting that kind of money. We should aspire to get to the point where some motherfucker out there won't hesitate to drop 20 G's on your work, because your work is definitely worth it. You just got to find that motherfucker who's going to do that. That's what we should be aspiring to do. Who cares that Jim is doing that? Good on him. Fucking frankly, good for him. Good for him. You know, maybe your number isn't 20 now. Maybe your number is like 500. 500 is still a pretty good payday for a single piece. Don't hate on Jim. He's also apparently one of the nicest guys in comics. There are so many stories that have come out since this kerfluffle about how awesome Jim is as a person when it comes to donating art to help other artists who are in a financial bind for medical reasons. God, the healthcare system. Let me not rant about our healthcare system here in the United States. That's going to do it for now. I am going to San Diego Comic-Con this year. It's been a while since I've been. I'm happy to be back. Trying to figure out what my schedule is, but when I get my schedule, I'll be telling everybody on all my channels. If you check out my community tab, I've been posting work in progress shots from the current graphic novel that I'm working on, as well as like random fan art here and there. I don't always remember to record that stuff. And anyway, YouTube Shorts has not been that great for helping me grow this channel. So I think I might just not bother with that and just post like the still images on my community tab. Eventually I do want to remember to record some of that stuff and do walkthroughs and talk about it and stuff. But like, I don't know, shorts hasn't really helped grow the viewership here anyway. So, but yes, hopefully I will see some of you later this summer. I'm also definitely going to be at Small Press Expo in September, but that's a couple months away. So, but yeah, I will check you later. Bye-bye.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, 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 money.
Ching, ching, bling, bling, got the chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter. Ching, ching, bling, bling, got in pocket. Take the dollar, can a damn soul stop it. Here comes the new kid on the block. Hold on, your best. Smoke my buck, stop.